Asked you guys for some video ideas and one of you guys commented. For a video idea, how about a comparison of the shop items and the value a veteran player puts on them versus what you might think a newer player would think they're worth? What do you think is worth it today versus what your opinion was when you started? Is there anything you bought before that you don't buy now? Or is there anything you buy now that you didn't buy before? Or is the game more or less free-to-play friendly today versus release? What do you use your Primo gems on? Only limited character banners? Resin refreshes? Standard banner pulls? Well, to answer the first question, let's head over to Primos bargains. We'll start with the Star Glitter exchange. You obtain a small amount of Star Glitter each time you pull a 4 or 5-star weapon or character. Regardless of whether or not you're a lower or higher AR ranked player, the Intertwined Fate and the Acquaint Fate are going to be sought after items. They are a pretty time efficient item considering the fact it doesn't take long to accumulate 5-star glitter. Next, let's talk weapons. Understandably so, the Star Glitter cost of the weapons might be intimidating to newer players. When I first started playing, I took one look at the cost, said screw that, and I stuck to buying wishes. I get it. When you first start playing, you're way more focused on getting characters than you are weapons. You will, however, get to a point in the game in which you want your characters to have more damage output, and that's when you'll start looking at weapons. The Black Cliff and the Royal Weapon set rotate out every other month. I prefer the Black Cliff set because of its crit damage bonus, but the Royal set does give you some crit rate. Now to cover the most expensive thing in the shop, the characters. I'm gonna be honest guys, I've spent money on this game, so personally I've never had to buy them. But that being said, if you aren't spending money on this game, to get a guaranteed good 4-star character, I highly recommend at some point you utilize it, especially if you're not able to ever pull the character that you want. The characters right now in the shop, for example, are 2 of the best 4-star units in the game. So yeah, if you have the Star Glitter saved up and somebody that you really want, I say go for it. Out of everything I just listed, I would recommend either a weapon or a character, just because those are guarantees. Getting a Fate does not guarantee you a character. You could still pull a debate club. Now, as for everything else in the Star Glitter shop, I am guilty of making a couple of these purchases before when I was a lower AR and I didn't know any better. But that being said, do not do it. It is a scam. Everything you see there you can find in the overworld. Even if you don't have a rare, you can craft it. You can look under enemies and find any of the materials that you're needing. If you run out of enemies to track down, join somebody else's world, steal their stuff. Well, actually, you should ask nicely. But yeah, rinse and repeat, you will have what you need, okay? So unlike Star Glitter, Stardust is a lot more common because you get it from pulling 3 stars. And guess what, guys? My opinion stays the same for a lot of the items in this shop. I already bought my wishes this month, so that should tell you that I do see that as worth it. I think the Mora can be a scam if you are free to play. I'm not, that's why I did buy it. No worries though guys, if you are short on Mora, I did make a video about that, and guess what? You don't have to spend resin. Yay! I do not recommend the leveling up books or the weapon ore either. There are other ways to get them in the game. I do recommend the Dust of Azoth though. It converts your character ascension stones to any of the color stones that you need, and I think that's super beneficial, and that's literally like the only item in the game that does that, so yeah, definitely worth buying if you need it. I have conflicting opinions about whether or not the game is more free-to-play friendly now than it was upon initial release. I've been playing the game since 4 days after the release. When the game first came out, we had Mansa and Liyue. Those were the only 2 regions, and no, we did not have Dragonspine. We were waiting for weeks at a time for updates. It was easy to catch up on story, and aside from doing events, it didn't feel like there was a whole lot to do aside from spending your resin. The pool of playable characters was a lot smaller too. For the Traveler, we only had Animo and Geo, and nobody was interested in using Kaya, Lisa, or Amber at the time either. So for me personally, not liking the roster of characters I got from those 20 wishes, I did end up spending money. For the people that start playing the game now, however, there is a plethora of things to do. They can explore 4 regions that aren't story locked, and even touch the Statue of the Seven, Sumeru, to get Denja Traveler, a great unit. Along with the other characters that we are given in the game for free, they are given Lynette and Cole as well. There are a lot more chests that they immediately have access to as well, so they are able to accumulate Primos and Mora fast. With the positives do come negatives to starting the game late. There are event-exclusive items that they will never be able to obtain. For example, the Festering Desire, a great 4-star weapon. A new struggle they are surely to face is the theater. You have to have a lot of characters of specific element typings, who are leveled and well-built. I like to think that I have a good roster of characters, and this is something that I struggled with as an AR-60. Overall, I do think it's easier to be free to play now, But that being said, if you do start now, there is a lot of catching up to do. Now to answer the last question, what I spend my Primos on. For the most part, I save my Primo Gems for the special banner characters. I'll see what the characters look like with the newest region, I'll choose 1 or 2 that I really like, and those are what I wish on. You get a decent bit of standard wishes in the game, and depending on how far into pity I am on the standard banner, I will spend Primos. As far as replenishing my resin goes with Primo Gems, I'm definitely guilty of it. I try not to do it as much anymore since 50 Primo Gems is a lot. That is a majority of the Primo Gems that you get from daily commissions. If you're going to do it, which I don't recommend, do it in moderation. And no matter how desperate you are, do not do it twice in a day. That extra 100 Primo Gems is not worth it. Last thing to cover would be the weapon banner. Unless both of the weapons on the banner could benefit you in some way, don't do it. It's another scam. I promise you'll just be disappointed. Trust me, I know from personal experience. As always, thanks for watching, and if you have any ideas for an upcoming video, go ahead and comment them down below.